Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we're smoking table weed in everything. The bong, a little bit of table weed from whatever was left over the weekend. Joint, I don't know if this is table weed, but it was in a bag in a drawer, so technically table weed. So I'm smoking that and this. And let's see. Oh, the last episode, last Friday, I was talking about the purple ayahuasca that I bought. Dude, that shit is delicious. It is. It's very much like earthy and berries. Earth and berries put together. Boop, boop, boop. It's good. If I were going out on a day trip or a hike or something like that, I'd take it with me as my, trail mix stuff. It'd be my trail mix of weed. Even though it's not a mix of anything. I mean, other than what it already is, which is a mix of Red River Delta and Master Kush. But this purple ayahuasca stuff at 18% THC is fucking good, man. And yes, it makes you retrospective, yes, and also introspective. I got pretty thoughtful and quiet when I was smoking it. I couldn't explain exactly what was going on in my head, but lots of good things. Thinking a lot of different shit. Still can't explain it now because I got way too high. Yeah, so that's what we're smoking on today in this little beauty. So I hope you guys had a good week. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. I hope you have a good sesh. I hope you enjoyed this sesh, as always. Yeah, so spark your joints, and let's do this. And this stuff, like I said, I don't know what it is. I know that the THC content will be pretty high, like 27 to 30% or something like that. But I can't tell you what kind it is because I found it in a baggie in my drawer. So I figured, fuck it, I'm going to smoke it. It may be Gorilla Snacks. It might be Gorilla Snacks. But again, I'm not too sure because, I haven't really... I lost it and then refound it. I was doing dabs the other day because I still had like some leftover dabs from my birthday. So I took a dab, but like I only took a little dab this time because I've noticed that like as I get into dabs and stuff, I generally tend to glob them up too much and get way too fucking high. So I started trying to do little dabs. So I don't do them every day. I do them like, I don't know, on the weekends and stuff like that. Or if I'm like celebrating something or if I don't have anything to do, which is very rare. So, especially with, 3 kids and shit. So, I started doing dabs. And I've been watching these videos online of people doing dabs. And talking about the fucking dab sweats. And I thought initially, I have a new opinion on this, but I thought initially that the dab sweats it would be like the equivalent of greening out off of smoking a joint or something like that, right? Well, I no longer think that because I did, a dab. I did a dab Friday night at like midnight just to like help me go to sleep and stuff. And then I tried to do another dab, or I did another dab on like, what was it? I think Saturday or Sunday, maybe Sunday. I did a dab on Sunday and I got the dab sweats, but I know it wasn't too much because I've slowly been taking less and less of a dab. So I know it wasn't like overload. I got really high because I really like dabs and that's what they do. But I wasn't greening out or feeling like I was going to, and I got the fucking dab sweats. I was like, how the fuck am I getting the dab sweats off one tiny little itty bitty dab? So I have a theory. My theory is very simply this. I think if you get the dab sweats, you're taking the dab at too high a temperature. I don't know. Just a thought. Because I've been doing dabs in the winter in my garage before, right? So when I was doing dabs in the winter, they cooled down really fast and I had to heat them up for like 30 to 45 seconds. I like heat up the nail banger. I don't know what it's called. The bowl. I had to heat up the bowl for like 30 to 45 seconds before it was hot enough to let it cool off for 30 seconds. But now it's the summer and the garage is fucking hot and humid and shit. So I heated it up to for 30 seconds and I let it cool off for 30 seconds. But then when I took the fucking dab, next thing I know, I'm hacking up a lung and fucking sweating. Like profusely. Like I had run a marathon or some shit. And so I realized at that point that the dab sweats are not. I mean, I'm sure you get the dab sweats if you like overdo it and you're starting to green out, but that's from the green out. The dab sweats, I think, come from the fact that the dab is too goddamn hot. And as soon as you take in that air, you're taking that excessively hot air in. You start to choke because obviously it's too hot. Your throat, your lungs are like, get the fuck out of here. But you're a stoner and a pothead and you fucking power through that shit. And you take it in and you hold it and then you exhale a big cloud of smoke or a little cloud of smoke depending on how long you held it, right? Okay, so, but that air is now in your lungs and it is heating you up from the inside. You're fucking broiling yourself, goddammit. It's bake time. That's what's fucking happening right here. You're baking yourself from the inside out. So, yeah, I haven't taken a dab since because I've been thinking about this and I'm like, now I gotta figure out a new fucking method to actually cooking my dabs. So, I don't know. I'm hoping it fucking works out the next time I do it. I also have to clear my fucking dab. I have to clean my dab rig too. Always clean your dab rig because the water, if you let it sit for too long, dude, that'll make you cough on its own. But yeah, so my recommendation, if you constantly get the dab sweats, I challenge you to do this. I challenge you to wait like 10 seconds longer. Oh my god, this is all like super gooey. Wow. Don't know what it surprise weed. Woo! If you take if you take dabs, I challenge you to actually see if the temperature makes a difference in whether or not you get the dab sweats. And then from there, then I want to see if like more dabs gives you dab sweat. So no, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Don't actually get fucking blazed out like that. But yeah, I challenge you, if you do dabs, if you do dabs, if you do dabs, I would like to know. Let me know. Write in the comments, send an email, thoughtsoffthestem@gmail.com, whatever. Send it in, because I would like to know what your experience with dab sweats is. Because I'd like the comparison, because the only dab sweats I know I've heard of or seen were the ones on YouTube, people talking about it, which, like, really, who knows, right? And then my own dab sweats. And my dab sweats are like a fucking fat guy eating chicken wings. Like at an all-you-can-eat chicken wing buffet. As soon as dude opens his mouth and he starts sweating, like as soon as I finish this dab, as soon as inside, I fucking just started fucking pouring sweat. It was ridiculous. It was not fun. I got way too hot. And then after that, I got super duper high. And the next thing I know, I'm staring at the wall with my, I'm a mouth breather anyway. But this time I was like a gape mouth breather. Like if I was walking down the street, I would have collected all the bugs with my mouth. I was just, it was bad, but good at the same time. It was just bad because it was like mid-afternoon yesterday, and like, I mean, I totally could have done something else other than stare at a wall for like 45 minutes. Just saying. So yeah, so let me know what your dab situation is like, because I'm curious to see. I would like to see some comparisons. Like anybody that watches this. Also, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back every sesh. And again, I hope you're enjoying this sesh. I hope you got your joints rolled. I hope you got your blunts wrapped, your bongs packed, and your dab rigs ready to go. Or you're doing them. Either way. But yeah, so if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, if you're doing a dab, pay attention to what happens when you do that dab. Other than getting really high, see if you get the sweats, and see if it feels like you've inhaled heat. Because I realized in retrospect that I felt like I had actually inhaled heat. So yeah, so I'm gonna see if I could do like, and I didn't have that problem in the winter because again I was in the garage, right, and because it was cold in the winter, I mean it cooled down really fast. So and it was minus whatever outside. Now it's like fucking 30 degrees outside and sweaty as balls in here. So so you get that, you know. So doing a dab, the banger or the bowl, whatever. I gotta learn terms, dude. I have to learn these terms. No good pothead doesn't know the terms. Anyway, yeah. So it gets really fucking hot in here, and I don't think the bowl cools down as effectively. Maybe I gotta wait like a minute instead of just 30 seconds after. Maybe I gotta do that. Or I guess I could do, like, just put the dab in the thing and then heat it up, and then once that starts to melt, I could do that too. I know there's a term for that as well. Again, terms I gotta fucking learn. Smoking weed for 20 years. But, whatever. Seriously. They're bangers, nails, carb caps, fucking terp pearls. Also, though, I love all that shit. And again, if I can recommend anything, glass tips. You need the glass tips. You'll thank me later, man. And not even me. You know what? Fuck that. I'm trying to take credit for something. It's not even my idea. I found out about this through watching, like, what is it? The Dr. Green Thumb podcast with Be Real, and then, like, other influencers on Instagram putting on these glass tip dealies. And, like, though I didn't buy those ones because I'm cheap, I bought, like, just a cheap pack off Amazon for like $12. They were good. And again, I don't sell this shit. I'm just saying. You should try it. If you're a smoker, you should try all these things. Do that stuff. It's they're fun tools, especially, in Canada, like where I'm at. In Canada, it's all legal. So, the other day, oh, dude, that's funny. So the other day, a water main broke in the fucking center of our driveway. I talked about it in the last episode. But, dude, okay, so we had to call, we didn't know who to call because it's a condo complex. So one of the neighbors who noticed it called the cops. It's like fucking midnight, okay, on like Tuesday or some shit, right? And like we're worried that the thing's just going to fucking fall in and sink, and then cars are going to drive in it and someone's going to get smushed and die or some bullshit, right? So we call the cops. Cops show up. Now, this is my garage, all right? So if you're watching this on YouTube, what you see when the garage door, if you drive by my house, you can see this, okay? Other than, like, the lights and shit, I put that away. But, like, you see the flag, the booze, and, like, at one point, I used to have the bong, and I used to have, like, all my tools in the middle of the table right here on, like, a platter, okay? So, like, anybody that walked by or came by could see the shit that was going on. So earlier that day, I just happened to put all my accessories and stuff off the table over here because I'm trying to make more space now that, I can start, having time outside in the summer and people around and stuff. I wanted it out of the way. Well, we call the cops, right? So cops show up, so yay, pot leaf flag, clock tuned to 420 always. I had this sitting in the middle of the table with the joint rolled, like, in weed and bags. I had a fucking gummy bear in a random case. Like, cop shows up. I'm wearing my Thoughts Off the Stem hoodie, the black one with the logo and everything. And I forget this, and I'm talking to the guy because I'm high as shit, and I had done a dab like an hour and a half earlier. So I'm sitting outside talking to the cop, and he's just, talking whatever, having a good time. But he's like, I'm worried it's going to be a huge fucking sinkhole. And I'm high as balls. We're shooting the shit. I call my buddy. I'm like, dude, we have a sinkhole situation here. Like, I can't even get out of my driveway. It's right at the end of the fucking driveway, right? So later on that evening, everybody disperses. It's like 1:30 in the morning. Again, legal in Canada to smoke weed on your own residence. And even I think you can actually smoke it if you're like out and about and designate, like wherever you can smoke a cigarette, I think you can smoke weed. So like not near a park, a school, anywhere kids play, that kind of thing, sport event, things like that. But like I think you can, there's designated areas. Anyway, so I'm sitting in here. The cops are in the car, like watching the hole so that nobody drives into it. And I decided, and now's a good time for a bong hit, right? So I take my bong out, I hit the bong, motherfucker. Soon as I fucking hail, okay? Here comes the cop. Hey, do you know where we could find the number for the condo corporation? And I was like, not really. I have no clue. I go through my email and I end up finding it. But I forgot when I got high that weed was legal. And I was in the main driveway and the cop is like asking me these questions like nothing happened. There's weed out on the table. The bong is still smoking a little bit. Like it was the perfect scenario too. If we were not in the situation we were in Canada, I would have been fucked. However, that probably wouldn't have happened because I probably wouldn't have been in that situation if it weren't legal, right? So but yeah, I love shit like that. Like I love it when random stuff happens and you're high. I really do. The other day, my kids started to come down here to play darts and stuff like that. So I've had to give them, because I want them to play darts. I want them to learn. It's good for counting. If you have, like, my two youngest are 8 and 10. And they've been coming down lately. But it's good for counting, especially if you play 501. If you play 501, then you have to count down from 501 to 0. So you have to count up all your points on the dartboard. Like, it's perfect for that. So they've been coming down here. So I got to be, like, more careful with the weed situation. Though they kind of, know that Dad does the podcast. But, like, they're not around the weed, Like, I keep it away from them. They're not near it any. So the other day, I got blasted because nobody was home. Sure enough, I hadn't hit the come down yet. And they show back up at the house. Luckily, everything was away. Like, there was nothing on the table. I was just sitting here drinking the water, smoking this thing, and fucking doing whatever. But, yeah, there was no weed out and stuff. And the two little ones come, Dad, can we play some darts? All right, fine. But now that they're getting into darts, and I like playing darts a lot, my buddies and I play darts all the time. Can I say darts more? Yeah, probably. It's kind of fun having them do it because it forces them to also learn and get better at math. It's a pretty cool thing. And then because generally if I'm in here, I get high. And I was already, I was coming down from the high. I was way more laid back than I would have been had they surprised me if I wasn't high. Then they came and played, and it made it so much easier. It was so much easier to teach them math, like how to add the stuff up that they could, and it was good. It's pretty cool. But don't do dabs if your kids are home. I wouldn't recommend it, because again, same sort of deal. The other day, I had the afternoon to myself, and then my oldest daughter, who's 12, comes home. I had done a dab on top of like a few bong hits and shit. And dude, let me tell you, she was down here asking me questions, and like I felt, what I felt like? Okay, I felt like back in the day when you're in high school and you get busted by your parents, and they're like, "You high?" and you're trying, like that '70s show shit where like you're trying to keep a straight face and be like, yes, I know, yes, right, correct, I hear you. Try to be all like proper and shit. But inside you're like, they know I'm high. That kind of feeling, man? That's what I'm talking about. I had that with my daughter. And then like halfway through, I kept asking her like what the problem was. And I don't have a sense of time when I'm stoned. So I think I asked her like too many times, and then she gave me this look, and I was like, fuck, she knows I'm high. And then I realized I'm the dad. I can still handle it. Like, I'm still your dad. So go inside. Go inside, give me an hour out here, I'll be fine. But yeah, that was the first time in a long time I felt like guilty and like not wanting to get caught when I was all baked. Normally I just don't give a shit. But again, normally, you know, I'm not around my kids when I'm that high. They surprised me. I always like to get a phone call first, but I'm also fun. I'm not like, it didn't go bad. I just talk silly after a while, and then they forget about it and fucking move on. But dude, yeah, it was a fun time. My oldest daughter knows I smoke weed. We had talked about it, actually. I talk about it with my 12-year-old because, again, it's fucking legal in Canada. So if your kid knows about drinking, right, and you have a beer in front of your kid, why can't you, I'm not saying smoke a joint in front of your kid because, like, again, it's, potentially glorifying smoking. But, like, if you ate an edible or whatever and you're high around your kid, I don't know. It's not the same thing. It's not the same as drinking and being around your kid. So I don't see why you can't have that discussion with your kid. Because in school, they're already getting, I think, in my opinion, a piss poor education of what it really is. What they're getting is they're essentially getting told that it's still a bad thing. But, like, it's not now. Man, it's fucking legal. Like, even in the U.S., everybody's like, yeah, man, let's just do this, Like, we're moving along at a good pace here. And the information at the educational end of shit is still slightly off. So I like to have a conversation with my oldest, my youngest too, but they don't really get it, so I don't try to bring it up, and they don't really ask. And when they do, I'll talk to them. But my 12-year-old, for sure, I tell her whatever, Like, she was pissed off at me for smoking cigarettes. So I started smoking this thing. She hates that I smoke this thing, but it's better than cigarettes for now. And I want to use these to get off. But these being the vape cartridges with nicotine. But, she also doesn't like that I smoke a joint, because she caught me smoking a joint one weekend. It was Saturday morning, and we just woke up. Normally, she watches TV, so I came down here like a doorknob, having a coffee. I'm like, yeah, I could smoke a joint right now. So I lit it, and as soon as I light it, she comes out asking me for something. I was like, fuck. So then when I go inside, we talk, and she's like, you gotta stop smoking. You told me you quit smoking. And I said, I did quit smoking. Cigarettes. She goes, what? I said, well, that wasn't a cigarette. That was a weed cigarette. And she was like, well, you can't smoke that either. And I'm like, no, let's be honest here. I'm going to smoke that because it's not as bad for you. It actually helps with a lot of different things. So we had this discussion, right? And she was actually, by the end of it, smiling about the fact that it was a joint rather than a cigarette. So, I'm converting her. She's coming over to the understanding that, hey, man, it's a plant. It's helpful. But again, I don't necessarily, even though I smoke it, I don't think that smoking it is the best way to do it. You know what I'm saying, health-wise? Because there's got to be some, smoking it obviously still affects your lungs and shit. Which, again, like the dab, okay? Again, a cleaner way to smoke weed, because essentially you're heating it up to the point where it vaporizes, right? You inhale that, but if you inhale it at such a high temperature, you could probably potentially do some pretty good damage to your lungs, right? I would think. So again, even though it's a better way of smoking it, it's still not maybe the best way to do it. Like, edibles are probably the best way to go. And like, after that 10 milligram fucking drink I had on last episode, dude, if you want a quick shot, like, I was talking to my buddy, and he's the guy that I normally eat fucking gummy bears with, right? And he was like, yeah, it's the same amount as the gummy bears that he gets. And I was like, yeah, but this drink rocked me. Those gummy bears don't do that. Like, they do a lot, like floaty feet and stuff. But like this, it was impressive what this drink did. And then I looked at the drink. So in the description of the last video, that's where this says, make sure you read the directions. And you read whatever it has to say on the can. Read the whole thing. Because I did not realize that drinking the whole drink was the equivalent of having 3.36 grams of dried cannabis in one shot. So, even though it was only 10 milligrams of THC, I had that drink and I was done for the afternoon, okay? My kid was in school. I was doing this podcast with that. It took me like, maybe 10, 20 minutes to drink this drink because I was trying to take it easy because I thought, fuck, I don't know what's going to happen. And dude, I'm telling you, okay? That shit rocked my fucking world. And I will get it again. But I will maybe drink it in like half and half. You know what I'm saying? I might not do the whole thing all in one shot again. So yeah, so if you get stuff like that and you're not used to, because that was the first like THC drink that I'd ever got, I did not think to look at the can because I'm a professional. I smoke weed every day. I'm like, I can handle this shit, okay? And I took that can and I ended up on this table, fucking elbows out, face down like a dog. Just laying there like, I don't know what is happening right now. And that lasted like a good 2 hours, okay? So yeah, be aware of the shit that you're getting yourself into. Ask maybe what other people think of it, what they say, what they recommend, what their level of involvement with marijuana is, so that, you know, you can really make a good informed decision about how much you should take. Because holy crap. And it wasn't a bad high. It was a great high. But I did not expect to be that high for that long off the drink. Because the flowers that I've gotten from the dispensaries, if they're like a 25%, you get really, really high. But it only lasts like 45 minutes. Right? Whereas like before dispensaries were around and you had to procure some marijuana, the difference was that you could smoke that at that 25%, but you were high for like 2-3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good shit. Okay? When I drank this drink, I had been used to the feeling of like floating, and it was probably the gummies I eat are normally indicas, where I think the drink was probably a sativa leaning drink. But yeah, like where I was floaty and shit with the gummies, I couldn't stop moving around, and I was just like, yeah, I was out of it. It was great. It was a good old time to reflect on yourself and have something nice to drink. The only problem is it's pop. So then when you're drinking it and you start to get the pasties, it adds to the fucking pasties. So have water nearby because you're going to want to swig of that every once in a while. But yeah, the flowers don't do that from the dispensaries for me. I found some recent ones, like this purple ayahuasca stuff, like that stuff keeps me pretty high for a while, and that's only 18%. But again, that goes back to a previous podcast I did talking about how I don't think it's just THC that makes a difference for your high. Like, I've had really hot, really like potent strains that are like 30+%, and like you don't get as high as some of these 18s, depending on who it's by. Again, it's a whole like curate the plant, right? But yeah, it's a pretty drastic difference from the dispensary flower to having the dispensary edibles and things like that. So like I might try a few more things on the edible end from the dispensary, because man, I can't get over how high I was with that pop. Now, granted, with that pop, I had also smoked a joint or started to smoke a joint and I took like a bong hit too. So I mean, it wasn't just the drink, but like I noticed when that drink kicked in, I noticed it right away. I mentioned it when it happened. Like, yeah, you could feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get that good weed and you're like, whoa, dude, whoa. It was like that. It was an aha moment of high. Which then, you know, later on in the week led to my aha moment of dab. Because I'm like, I'm not high enough to be sweating on a green out sweat and call it a dab sweat. So the dab sweats, I'm telling you, they have to fucking... It's because you're baking yourself from the inside out. You're broiling yourself, I think. So I'm going to attempt to try and cut the fucking temperatures down a little bit. Maybe not heat it as long, or maybe let it sit a little, cooler or a little longer before I take the dab. And I encourage you to, I encourage you to do the same thing. Just to see what the difference is. Share. Fucking share in the effects so that, you know, there's a good, solid understanding of how these things work. And I know there's people out there that already do show you how to do things correctly, and you try them and whatever. But yeah, you gotta try what works for you. But like, apparently my lungs don't like it if it's too hot. So I've gone over my heat setting. And I think that brings on dab sweats for me. So it'd be pretty awesome if you let me know in the comments, send an email like I said. I hope you enjoyed the sesh, because those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Thanks for joining me, Justin Barone, Thoughts Off the Stem. I hope you come back next week, Friday, at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you get a podcast. YouTube, I don't know, where else? Stitcher. I think I'm on Podchaser. Good Pods. Yeah, anywhere you get a podcast. And don't forget to check out the Linktree and what else? The T-shirt shop. And the guys from I Sell Glass, there's a link in the Linktree for some pretty awesome glassware. It's where I got the dab rate, which I will break out next video. Maybe I'll save my next dab for the next opening to the next session-sode, because it needs a reintroduction. Yeah, so check out all that stuff. And yeah, I hope you enjoy your week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh, and come back next Friday, 4:20 p.m. Until then, keep your lids low.